YouTube, what's going on, y'all? It's Pick Saber here, and welcome to another video. Really quickly, before I get into today's video topic, I want to remind you, if you're new here, go check out my introductory video where I go into detail about what type of content to expect on the channel. Cal enters 2026 under an entirely new leadership structure following the transition away from the previous staff, which finished 2025 at 7-6, capped by a Hawaii Bowl appearance under interim head coach Nick Rolovich. Tosh Lapoy, who was previously Oregon's defensive coordinator, takes over as Cal's head football coach in his first ever stint leading the program at the helm. The offense is led by new coordinator Jordan Somerville, alongside co-offensive coordinator Ike Hilliard. Defensively, Michael Hutchins takes the reins as defensive coordinator, partnered with co-defensive coordinator Devon Brown. My concern is both the offensive and defensive coordinators were NFL position coaches last year, and neither have any experience calling plays at the collegiate level. Cal's roster also features high turnover, as they saw over 30 players enter the transfer portal. This included vital foundational pieces from the 2025 squad, most notably star linebacker Luke Farrelly, who led the team with 91 tackles, and starting running back Kendrick Raphael, who departed for SMU. To offset the departures, Tosh Lapoy and his staff aggressively worked the transfer portal, bringing in 32 additions. The offensive line had to be heavily reconstructed, with additions like Jimothy Lewis Jr. from Mississippi State, Khalid Tafai from Minnesota, and Jacob Arop from South Dakota. Now, Cal does have a promising young signal caller in Psycho Pateli returning, and while the ceiling for JKS is intriguing, relying on a young quarterback behind a heavily reconstructed offensive line can lead to many errors and mistakes. And that dynamic of the offense shouldn't be overlooked, as relying on a new starting five up front who have never played meaningful snaps together in a brand new pro-style scheme is a massive red flag, especially when being tasked with having to protect a young quarterback. The running back room incorporates incoming depth pieces like Carter Vargas, who transferred from UC Davis, alongside some returners and newcomers trying to establish a consistent ground game. Cal heavily worked the transfer portal to reshape its pass-catching threats, bringing in names like Keon Grace, an Ohio State transfer, Ian Strong, a Rutgers transfer, Cooper Perry, an Oregon transfer, Chase Hendricks, an Ohio transfer, and Dorian Thomas from New Mexico. While plenty of offensive talent was brought in through the transfer portal, cohesive timing with a young quarterback and a new pro-style system often takes time to materialize. But when it comes to this Cal team, my main concern is not necessarily with the offense, as the defense is virtually starting from scratch. Up to 8 new transfers could find themselves in the starting lineup, with outside linebacker Jaden Wayne standing out as the only player assured of retaining a starting role from the 2025 team. The Cal defense lost its heartbeat at linebacker, with star tacklers Luke Farrelly and Cade Uluwave exited via the transfer portal, replacing highly productive leaders with portal pieces who saw minimal snaps at their previous schools, creating a high amount of uncertainty in the middle of the defense. Last year, Cal struggled immensely to get into the backfield, ranking near the bottom nationally in sacks and tackles for loss. While they did bring in athletic edge pieces through the portal, being heavily reliant on unproven developmental upside to suddenly fix a stagnant pass rush is a risky proposition. And even though the secondary brought in plenty of external talent, defensive backs and linebackers require precise pre-snap communication and scheme chemistry. A secondary thrown together on the fly typically gets exposed early in the season by experienced quarterbacks, posing a massive red flag when facing high-octane ACC offenses. Cal will open up right out of the gate with a tough matchup against Bob Chesney's UCLA, then travel on the road to face a Syracuse offense that I expect to be much better than it was last year. To clear the win total, Cal will basically have to sweep their coin flip games and pull off multiple upsets. Not to mention, they'll also deal with cross-country travel versus Syracuse, NC State, and Virginia. The transition to the ACC's new 9-game conference model, paired with tough matchups in the non-con, proves to be a tough schedule for a program like Cal currently in a transitional phase. So I moved on to under 6.5 wins at plus 105, as my projections have Cal at 5.4 wins. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as I will be bringing more college football videos just like this. But until then, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Pick Saban, clocking out.